So, if you're a founder, you know the deal, right? You start out doing literally everything. You're the marketer, you're the developer, and yep, you're the entire sales team. But the real question, the one that keeps you up at night, is how do you get out of that one-person show? How do you actually build a sales organization that can run and even thrive without you? Well, today we're going to map out that exact journey, and we're going to use Cole Gordon's super powerful frameworks to do it. And this quote from Cole Gordon really sets the stage. If you can lead a sales team, you can lead any team in the company. Think about that for a second. He makes this incredible point that the sales team is by far the hardest team to manage. Why? Because it's so ruthlessly black and white performance-based. There's nowhere to hide. If you can master this, you build the leadership muscles you need to scale every other part of your business. It's like the ultimate training ground for any founder. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The first stage of this journey is all about one thing: predictability. Right now, you might be making sales, but it feels like a total roller coaster, doesn't it? One month, revenue is amazing. The next, it's a ghost town. That chaos, that's the first huge barrier to scaling. You've got to tame that chaos and build a solid foundation. And what does that foundation look like? Well, it's an optimal selling system. The key word here, and I mean the most important word, is system. See, a true system isn't just, a checklist or process. It's a machine. It means when you pour more inputs in, let's say more ad spend, you get a predictable correlated increase in your outputs, which are sales. You're finally moving away from just guesswork and building a reliable engine for growth. So, this machine we're talking about, it basically has two essential gears that have to work together perfectly. First, you've got generate interest. This is your scalable way of getting leads, paid ads, cold outbound, whatever it is for you. Then you've got convert interest. This is your repeatable process for turning those leads into actual sales, a standardized script, a clear offer, and here's the kicker. If just one of these gears is broken or rusty, the whole machine just grinds to a halt. Both have to be solid. All right, so let's say you've done it. You've built a system, you've even hired a couple of sales reps, things are looking good. But then a new problem pops up. And guess what? It's you. You've become the new bottleneck. You're still hopping on sales calls, you're training the new people, you're dealing with payroll, you're reviewing every single deal. You've accidentally become a manager, but you haven't actually systematized the management part of the job. See, as a sales manager, you're suddenly juggling three completely different hats. First, there's coaching and training. This is where you actually develop your people and make them better. Then there's leadership. This is where you set the vision and keep everyone motivated. But then there's the third hat, admin and operations. All the reporting, managing the CRM, payroll, this stuff. And this right here is the trap. Most founders get completely sucked into the admin work, which has the absolute lowest impact on actually bringing in more revenue. So what's the first move? Well, here's where it gets a little counterintuitive. Your gut might say, hire a sales manager. But that's not the answer yet. Instead, your first move is to systematically offload every single admin and operations task. Give it to a sales coordinator, an executive assistant, anyone but you. This one move immediately frees you up to focus on the only two things that are actually going to drive revenue: coaching your team and leading them. Okay, so you've delegated all the admin crap. Awesome. But now what? How do you actually coach and lead effectively, especially as your team starts to grow? How can you possibly ensure everyone is performing at a high level when you can't be on every single call? Well, the answer lies in installing what Cole Gordon calls the Big Three. And look, the solution here isn't some complicated playbook with 100 different management tactics. No, it boils down to just three core, absolutely non-negotiable habits. You can think of these as the operating system for your entire sales team. All right, number one, and this is probably the most important one, the daily sales meeting. We're talking 60 minutes every single day, no exceptions. And let's be clear, this is not some fluffy, how's everyone feeling check-in. This is hardcore accountability on numbers and projections followed immediately by real tactical training. We're talking reviewing an actual sales call from yesterday, role-playing a tough objection. Gordon calls this the centerpiece of your company culture, and it's where your standards are forged every single day. Okay, habit number 2. End-of-day reports. This is so simple, but so powerful. At the end of every day, each rep sends a short summary of every single call they took. What this does is it gives you, as the manager, instant visibility into what's happening on the ground. You can immediately spot deals that should have closed but didn't, and boom, that gives you the exact material you need to review in tomorrow's daily sales meeting.
It creates this amazing continuous feedback loop. And that leads us perfectly into this next quote. Most times, if you inspect what you expect, the problem just really slaps you in the face. This sets up the third and honestly most critical habit perfectly. You've got the reports, so you know where to look. Now you have to actually go in and inspect the work.
And that brings us to number 3, consistent call reviews. This is the ultimate source of truth. Seriously, you cannot coach your team based on what your reps say happened on a call. You have to listen to the recording of what actually happened. The call recording is the only place you can diagnose the real issues with their process, with their tonality, with how they're handling objections. Without this, all of your coaching is just pure guesswork.
So let's fast forward a bit. Your team is running on this great system. You've got the big 3 in place. They're meeting daily, they're getting coached, things are good. But they still face the single biggest, most universal challenge in all of sales, objections. You know the ones. It's too expensive, I need to think about it, I need to talk to my partner. So how do you solve this systematically?
Well, it all starts with this question. What is the real reason they aren't buying? Because here's a secret. The first objection a prospect gives you is almost never the real one. It's just a smokescreen. It's a polite way of hiding a deeper uncertainty. So your team's job isn't to fight the smokescreen. Their job is to get behind it and uncover the actual truth. And to uncover that truth, your team has to understand a really critical distinction. Getting someone sold and closing them are 2 totally different things. Getting them sold is about their internal belief. It's when the prospect thinks to themselves, yes, I 100% want to do this. Closing them, on the other hand, is just the logistics, processing the payment. The problem is most sales reps try to solve for the close when the prospect isn't even truly sold yet. So how do you bridge that gap? Here's the tool. Cole Gordon calls it the universal tie-down, and it's brilliant. Imagine the prospect says, it's too expensive. Your rep responds with this. Got it. Money aside for just a moment, is there anything else keeping you from being 100% certain that this is what you need to get to your outcome? See what that does? It completely isolates the price objection. It forces them to reveal their true level of certainty. If there's any hesitation at all, you know the real problem isn't the money. It's a lack of belief. And you have to solve for belief first, and then you can handle the logistics of the payment. And that brings us to the final level of this journey. So imagine your systems are humming, your team is absolutely crushing it, you're hitting revenue numbers you used to dream about, and then you plateau. You just get stuck. Why? Well, ironically, it's because you've become the constraint all over again. The business is still completely dependent on you and maybe your first 1 or 2 key leaders. So the key to breaking through these major plateaus isn't about better systems anymore. It's about better people. You have to shift your focus entirely to attracting and developing true superstar talent. We're talking about those entrepreneurial leaders who can literally own an entire department and drive growth without you. This is the moment you make the leap from creating a really high-paying job for yourself to building a true asset that just produces cash flow. And just look at the real-world impact of this. Cole Gordon shares his own story. His company was stuck, plateaued at around $150K a month when he was the main guy doing all the sales. Then he hired his first superstar, a guy named Mitchell. Just 45 days later, they hit $400K a month. That's not linear growth, folks. That is a massive, massive inflection point created by one single key person. That is the power of a superstar. And so this whole journey really leads to one final powerful question you have to ask yourself. Is your business built on systems and superstars, or is it just built on you? Because the entire path we just walked through, from building predictable systems to installing those big 3 management habits, all the way to attracting those game-changing leaders, it's all about one thing: systematically removing yourself as the bottleneck so you can finally build something that truly scales beyond you.